Hey guys, Mustang here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to be taking a look at the EZA for Physical Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman. This is a card, I always really liked this card when he got his awakening way back in the day. It's been years since he got his awakening till he got his EZA. I always thought the card art was kind of cool. I was never a big fan of like the Saiyaman persona in general, like with the helmet and everything, but the green and black like outfit with the Super Saiyan hair I do think is pretty cool for Gohan. The sunglasses is obviously a funny touch, but yeah, the art's very cool. This guy finally got his EZA. Unfortunately, from what I've heard, he is not the greatest, but we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what he does here at full level 10 links. Rainbowed, of course. His super attack effect is to greatly raise defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage to the enemy, and raises attack for 3 turns. So you can get a couple of stacks on his attack, so it'll be interesting to see what he can get up to. And then his passive is attack and defense 180, additional key 1 up to 3, and attack and defense 60 up to 180, so 3 stacks for each. Per Defenders of Justice or Exploding Rage ally self-excluded on the team, depending which category has more members. So this is an immediate issue with him really when it comes to team building, is that means you have to have 3 other Defenders of Justice or Exploding Rage, and they can't be mixed. It's whichever one has the most, right? So it has to be 3 other units. Now we're running him on a 200% lead he has with the Physical Gohan. He's not on Beast's 200% team. But Physical Gohan is on Exploding Rage, Beast is on Exploding Rage, and then so is this Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who conveniently does actually support Physical as one of the types, so he'll be decent on the team for support. And then we've just thrown the Piccolo and the Gogeta on here, because obviously they are on Beast 200% lead as well, and will help out the team pretty significantly. So that straight away is a bit of an issue when it comes to the team building. Then he gets a guaranteed crit when there's a Buu Saga enemy, which I mean, if this EZA had come out before Golden Week or as part of Golden Week, that would be cool, right? Because we have the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone, but not necessarily as useful now. If they add missions to the Buu Saga Red Zone stages at any point for like Defenders of Justice or something like that, then obviously that could be beneficial, but it's not something we're going to see super often now. He gets additional 180 attack and reduces damage received by 30% when there's an extreme class enemy. So again, similar issue to what we talked about with the STR Saiyaman 2 from the World Tournament, is that nowadays in the meta we're getting a lot more super type bosses. But 30% damage reduction against extreme, like that's good, right? That's something that STR Saiyaman's kind of lacking, is that extra defensive tech. He recovers 50% HP if HP is 30% or less at the end of the turn when there is an extreme class enemy once only. So it's at the end of the turn, so that can be good for going into the next turn with a little bit of a heal. And then he gets an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. So I've given mine a decent amount of credit. I haven't touched his hidden potential build since before his EZA. So obviously in this particular event where we are fighting a Buu Saga enemy, the crit is completely pointless. You probably do want him to be additional or dodge. I mean, if you are going to use them at all. But we can see here he starts off at 278k defense start of turn. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. We'll grab this for you, and then obviously we're going to get the support from the Gohan being in slot 3. We do have a lot of links with the Tech Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Shame we don't have Hero of Justice. Very good attack link, but go ahead and grab these. See what our boy is going to do here on the first turn. Remember, he does get the guaranteed additional attack, and it has a high chance to become a super. So even though we have a lower amount of additional in the hidden potential, it does have 2 chances to activate. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of numbers he does if we are able to get a triple super turn, but I guess we'll see. So fortunately, Piccolo here taking the super, because I'd be very worried about the Tech Super Saiyan 2 Gohan eating a super attack here, but we'll see what we are going to do. We've got a lot of links active, we've got support, 200% lead, so 6.3 is the first attack. And of course we get a guaranteed crit. We don't get the additional transfer into a super, and we don't get the hidden potential, so not exactly great. He greatly raises his defense, so he'd have gone up to what, like around 400k, maybe just under, with 30% damage reduction. So the 30% damage reduction makes it so that he will be able to tank normals like relatively well. Type disadvantage would obviously be a different story potentially, but yeah, not super crazy for turn 1, but let's see what we see what we can get out of him as he builds up, because the raising attack for 3 turns obviously means that when he comes back again the next time, he still has that stack from the super that he got on the previous turn. So his first super of the next turn would be a slightly higher number, although of course we're not going to have the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in slot 3 for the support on this next rotation. So we'll see how this pans out here. Obviously Beast on the team, very much going to do a lot of the heavy lifting. It's good. It's a good thing that Beast Gohan and the physical Ulma Gohan obviously just has Beast as part of the active skill, but it's a good thing that they are on Exploding Rage. Otherwise I think it would be very difficult to make a team for this guy where he's getting the 200% lead and you actually have all the allies that he needs, because he is on the 200% lead for the Tech Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku from Golden Week, but when you look at the crossover with his category leads and the characters that actually have Exploding Rage, it's not a huge amount. And same for Defenders of Justice. Like, it's weird because there are teams that he would be good on, like Superhero with the Gammas, Topo's team with all the other, like, the other type of Defenders of Justice characters, but like he doesn't get the 200% lead for those from those guys. He only shares shocking speed with Gohan as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. So what are we looking at here? 250 start of turn for this turn. And then we do get Kamehameha activate, which is, what, 10% attack when performing a super. So a little bit of extra attack, I guess. Go ahead and grab those, get a bit of a heal. Piccolo, obviously, tanking in slot 1 relatively well. Pretty built up at this point. Still got guard on this turn. So yeah, eat that for double digits. Oh yeah, he is fully built up already. Okay. So he's going to be perfectly fine here in slot 1. Gives everyone 2 key. So LR Gohan, I don't know if we actually got to 24 key anyway with him, but he's at 24 key. And then Saiyaman, 5.1. Yeah. I think the problem is, when we talk about some of these characters that have gotten their easy A's, and he only did an additional normal again. And then the hidden potential came in, but it was only a normal. Oof. Yeah, because when we talk about some of these easy A's, like we talked about, I did the AGL Gotenks one that went up before this one. And AGL Gotenks is hitting around the same kind of attack stat at the beginning of the fight, but actually builds up to higher than that. But like, he is at least supporting the team, giving the time limit 50% buff, whereas this Saiyaman, I think they should have made him a support unit for either Exploding Rage or Defenders of Justice, or both together. Like, could have been one of those things where he gives a buff to either, but if you're on both the categories you get all of it. Like, something like that would be interesting, because unfortunately without him giving support or anything like that, it does kind of leave him in that situation where it's like, why would you run him on the team, basically? Not only do you have to very heavily build the team around him so that he actually gets his full stats, what are you getting for that payoff is the main issue when you think about putting this guy into a team. Like, if he was providing a crazy amount of support, or if he was like an unkillable tank, or if he was dropping like, you know, a 20 mil attack stat, or like a, you know, 10 to 15 guaranteed additional 10 to 15, like, then you have sort of reasons where it's like, okay, well, it's worth putting this guy on the team build for these reasons. But unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like he offers all that much. Like, post super defense of like, what, he's at 250. So if he greatly raises, if we only get one super, he's at like 375k with 30% damage reduction. I mean, even that, like, some enemies we're starting to see hit for 1,000,000 damage normals, but even if we take, like, just off the dome, a 700k normal, so take off 30%, that's 490. If he's got 375k, that means he's taking 100 and, like, just over 100k from normals, from bosses that are only doing 700k normals, which for the hardest bosses in the game, we're talking about more than that now. So it does raise that question of, like, is he worth running on the team? Like, what is he providing to the team? Gogeta doesn't have guard anymore, so I am going to transform him. That does mean we lose out on the Golden Warrior link here as well, but not much we can really do about that here. Alright, so I'll grab those. I mean, I could giant form if I really wanted to make sure we weren't going to get killed here, but go ahead and do this, and then do this. So yeah, the unfortunate thing about him is like, there's nothing about his EZA necessarily. I mean, the team build restriction thing is annoying, but it's like sometimes you see the details of an EZA and straight away it's like, okay, yeah, this guy's terrible. And then Piccolo did actually get killed in slot 1. I mean, what else do we really need to see? Like, he doesn't do any more additionals, he doesn't do any build up. Like, you can see EZAs on paper sometimes, and it's like, yeah, this guy's terrible. And I didn't get that impression when I first read his details, but the problem is he just doesn't do anything that special. Like, greatly raising defense for 1 turn on super is good. The raise attack for 3 turns is good if you get multiple supers in 1 turn. But he only has a high chance to do an additional super. We didn't see him do any additional supers. Even in the turn where we got the hidden potential additional, we only did an additional normal. Now, obviously, I would say if I was going to use this guy again in the future, it's only ever going to be when there's a mission or something like that, and I'm using him against a Boo Saga enemy, so he gets the guaranteed crit. So I could change his hidden potential, get rid of all of this crit, and have like full additional. But I mean, as I say, we saw the turn where we did get the hidden potential additional, and it was only a normal, which doesn't really do anything to help him. You have to have 3 other allies other than him on one of the 2 specific categories, otherwise he doesn't get the buff. I mean, obviously for the Gohan team that we ran here, we could run, like, I guess the Gammas, if you have them, you could run Gamma 1, Gamma 2, and the LR Gammas as, like, the 3 other Defenders of Justice. But the fact that you can't mix them is super annoying, because against, like, a really tough boss, I probably would not want to be bringing Tech Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, but I can't replace him with Gamma 1, because then I have 2 exploding range characters and 1 Defenders of Justice, and that doesn't work. It has to be 3. It's whichever one has the most. So the game would then take that to be exploding rage with 2 allies, and so he would get 2 extra ki and 120%. But we saw him with the full buff in this video, and he wasn't really hitting that high numbers, which is a shame, because the art's cool. I really like the sticker effect, looks very cool as well. It'd be nice. I'd love to get an updated version of this, like, Super Saiyan 2 Saiyaman one day, maybe with an animation of him transforming like he does, like in the reaction to the Vazel Spopovich fight, like have his transformation as an intro or something. I think that could be kind of cool. But yeah, unfortunately, it seems like both of the Super Saiyan 2 Saiyaman EZAs that we've gotten with this set of units are pretty underwhelming, which is very unfortunate. Him having damage reduction is cool, but it's only 30%. And, you know, even characters we see with a decent amount of damage reduction, when you're only backing it up with like 300 to 400k defense, then it doesn't really work against these tough bosses. But let me know what you guys think of Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman down below in the comment section. A bit disappointing, but, you know, it is what it is, as they say. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out all the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.